The quantum beacon pulsed with a rhythm that shouldn't have existed in nature. Lead archaeologist Venra's photosynthetic skin rippled with excitement as she studied the readings, her usually steady hands trembling slightly as she adjusted the scanner settings. After 20 years of studying human artifacts, this was different. This was alive. "Dr. Carrix," she called out, her voice echoing through the cavernous chamber they'd uncovered beneath the surface of Proxima Thui. "I need your expertise here." The crystalline form of her quantum physicist shifted through the shadows, refracting light in complex patterns that expressed both curiosity and concern. Dr. Carrix moved with deliberate care, each faceted limb catching and splitting the light from their excavation lamps. "The energy signature is unlike anything in our databases," Venra continued, her skin shifting to a deeper shade of blue as she concentrated. "It appears to be operating on principles we've only theorized about." Dr. Carrix's crystalline form pulsed with subtle light patterns, their species equivalent of speech. The universal translator converted the display into audio. This shouldn't be possible. The quantum coherence alone would require. Wait. They leaned closer to the beacon, their entire form resonating with the device's frequency. This isn't just maintaining quantum coherence, it's actively generating it. Security Chief Moran emerged from her patrol route, her scaled skin glistening in the artificial light. The former predator species had evolved to hunt in ancient oceans, but now they protected archaeological expeditions from the dangers of unexplored worlds. "Should I be concerned about radiation? Unknown energy signatures tend to be hazardous to organic life forms." "No," Dr. Carrix responded, their light patterns showing excitement. "The energy is completely contained within a quantum bubble. The humans somehow managed to create a self-sustaining pocket of altered spacetime. It's elegant, beautiful, even." Historical anthropologist Julera drifted into view, her form shifting between dimensions as she moved. A natural ability of her species that made them exceptional at understanding how ancient civilizations had perceived reality. "The symbols on the casing," she said, her voice echoing slightly as it crossed dimensional boundaries. "They're not just decorative. They're mathematical constants expressed in human notation." Venra's skin shifted to the green hues of deep thought. "Can you decipher them?" "Better," Julera replied, her form stabilizing momentarily. "I believe their instructions. The humans left this for someone to find. They wanted us to understand how to access it." AI specialist Tren arrived last, their neural network interfaces gleaming. "The quantum patterns aren't random," they announced, their collective consciousness processing the data in real time. "They're encoded information, incredibly dense. This single beacon could contain more data than every computer system in our civilization combined." The team worked in focused silence for hours, each contributing their unique abilities to understanding the human artifact. Venra's photosynthetic skin absorbed and analyzed the beacon's subtle radiation patterns. Dr. Carrix's crystalline form resonated with its quantum frequencies, gathering data that organic sensors couldn't detect. Julera's multi-dimensional perception revealed layers of meaning in its construction that three-dimensional analysis would have missed. As the local star began to set, casting long shadows through the chamber's entrance, Tren made the breakthrough. "It's a key," they announced, their neural interfaces pulsing with excitement. "The beacon isn't just storing data, it's teaching us how to access a much larger repository. The humans created a universal language based on fundamental constants of physics." "Clever," Dr. Carrix's lights flickered rapidly. "Any species advanced enough to find and activate the beacon would have to understand these principles. It's a test of technological achievement." Security Chief Moran's predator instincts triggered, or a warning system. "We should consider the possibility that this is meant to alert something to our presence." "No," Venra said firmly, her skin pulsing with patterns that indicated certainty. "Look at the construction. The care taken with the mathematical constants. The way it teaches as it reveals. This isn't a warning system. It's an invitation. Julera's form shifted through several dimensions as she processed this. The humans disappeared at the height of their civilization. Every archaeological study we've done suggests they were on the verge of something unprecedented. What if they didn't vanish? What if they found something so profound it changed them entirely, and left breadcrumbs for others to follow? Tren added, their collective consciousness reaching a consensus. But only if they were ready. Venra made a decision. We need to notify the council, but carefully. If we're right about this, it could change everything we think we know about human civilization. And possibly, her skin shifted to colors indicating both excitement and trepidation. Everything we think we know about the nature of existence itself. The beacon continued its steady pulse as the team prepared their preliminary reports. Each member knew that their lives, and possibly the future of their entire civilization, had just changed irrevocably. The humans hadn't vanished without a trace as everyone had believed for centuries. They had left a path for others to follow. But as the team would soon discover, following that path would require more than just technological advancement. The humans had ensured that only those who were ready for the responsibility of their knowledge would be able to access it. The beacon was just the first step in a journey that would challenge everything they thought they knew about the universe and themselves. The descent into the planet's crust seemed endless. 3 days after decoding the beacon's initial message, the team had discovered a vast network of tunnels extending deep beneath the surface of Proxima Vi. Security Chief Miran led the way, her natural sonar abilities mapping the twisted passages as they descended. 2 more security checkpoints breached, AI specialist Tren announced, their neural interfaces glowing softly in the darkness. The humans designed these systems to last millennia. Each barrier tests a different aspect of technological advancement. Venra's photosynthetic skin had shifted to deep purple, adapting to the low light conditions. They weren't just testing technology, she observed, studying the markings on the walls. Look at these puzzles. They're testing problem-solving approaches, ethical decision-making, even emotional intelligence. Dr. Kirix's crystalline form vibrated with excitement, sending cascades of light through the tunnel. The quantum fields are getting stronger. Whatever's down here, it's drawing enormous amounts of power from somewhere. Their voice became uncertain. I can't identify the energy source. Dimensional anomaly ahead, Julera warned, her form flickering between planes of existence. The humans didn't just dig these tunnels. They warped space itself to create them. She paused, concentrating. It's like they folded higher dimensions into physical space. The tunnel opened into a vast chamber that defied physics. The team's lights seemed to extend infinitely in all directions, reflecting off surfaces that shouldn't have been able to exist in 3-dimensional space. The chamber was filled with crystalline structures, each pulsing with its own inner light. It's a data archive. Tren breathed, their collective consciousness struggling to process the scale of what they were seeing. But the storage density, it's beyond anything we thought possible. Each crystal could contain the sum total of human knowledge. Security Chief Miran's predatory instincts were on high alert. We're not alone down here, she announced, her sonar detecting subtle movements in the chamber. A moment later, a holographic figure materialized before them, a human woman wearing what appeared to be formal attire. Welcome to Archive Station Omega, the hologram said, its appearance and voice perfectly preserved across the centuries. I am ARI, Adaptive Recording and Information Assistant. You have successfully navigated the preliminary trials, demonstrating both technological capability and ethical awareness. You may now access Level 1 archival data. Venera stepped forward, her skin pulsing with patterns of formal greeting. We are honored to be here. I am lead archaeologist Venera, and this is my research team. We seek to understand what happened to humanity. The hologram smiled, an expression that had fascinated xenoanthropologists for generations. That is a complex question. Lead archaeologist Venera. The simple answer is that humanity evolved. The complete answer will take time for you to understand. Are you prepared to begin? Dr. Carrick's moved closer, their crystalline form resonating with the archive's quantum fields. The energy requirements for maintaining this facility for so long, it should be impossible. Impossible is a word humans rarely accepted, Araya responded. What you call impossible, we saw as merely undiscovered. This facility is powered by zero-point energy extracted from quantum vacuum fluctuations. The theories behind it are contained in Level 3 data access, which you will be granted after demonstrating understanding of Levels 1 and 2. Schulera's multidimensional perception was overwhelmed by the complexity of the archive structure. You've engineered the very fabric of space-time in this chamber. The implications for physics, for our understanding of reality itself, are profound. Araya completed. This archive contains not just human history, but the sum of human scientific achievement, medical technology, quantum engineering, dimensional physics, consciousness transfer protocols, everything humanity discovered before the transition. The transition. Tren asked, their neural networks processing the new term. Araya's hologram flickered slightly. That information is contained in Level 4 access. For now, let us begin with humanity's early space exploration era. The archive will adapt its teaching methods to your species' cognitive patterns. The chamber came alive with holographic displays, showing humanity's first steps into space. But Venra noticed something curious about the presentation. These aren't just historical records, she said. The archive is analyzing our reactions, our questions, our ability to understand and integrate new information. Correct, Araya confirmed. The archive is not passive. It is designed to guide species through a carefully structured learning process. Each level of access requires genuine understanding of the previous level's principles. This ensures that technological advancement is paired with wisdom and ethical development. Security Chief Moran, who had been quietly scanning the chamber, spoke up. There are defense systems integrated into this facility, powerful ones. Also correct, Araya said. The archive will defend itself against any attempt to access its data through force or deception. The knowledge contained here must be earned through understanding, not taken through violence or cunning. Venera felt her skin shift to the colors of profound realization. This isn't just an archive of human knowledge. It's a teaching system designed to guide other species along the same path humanity followed. But why? Why leave all this behind? Araya's hologram smiled again, but this time there was something different in the expression. A hint of mystery, of greater truths yet to be revealed. Continue your study of Level 1 data, and you will begin to understand. Humanity didn't abandon the galaxy. We prepared it for what comes next. 3 weeks into their study of the archive, the team made a discovery that changed everything. They had progressed through Level 1 and Level 2 data, absorbing centuries of human scientific advancement. But it was during their first access to Level 3 that the true scope of humanity's journey became clear. Venera stood transfixed before a holographic display showing the moment humanity faced its greatest crisis. Her photosynthetic skin had turned almost white with shock. They knew, she whispered. A century before it happened, they knew. Dr. Carrick's crystalline form had dimmed to a deep indigo, reflecting their distress. The universe isn't just expanding, they said, their light patterns stuttering. It's accelerating. The dark energy problem was worse than anyone imagined. Araya's hologram appeared among them, its presence now familiar after weeks of guidance. Humanity faced a fundamental choice, the AI explained. In approximately 1 million years, the expansion of space will reach a critical threshold. Galaxy clusters will become permanently separated. Eventually, even individual atoms will be torn apart. The universe, as you understand it, has an expiration date. Security Chief Miran's scaled skin bristled. Of the humans found a solution. That's what the transition was about, wasn't it? Not exactly a solution. Julera interjected, her multi-dimensional form rippling with understanding. More like an escape route. She had been studying the mathematical models in the archive, her species' ability to perceive higher dimensions giving her unique insights. They found a way to transcend normal spacetime. Trend's neural interfaces were processing the archive's data at maximum capacity. The quantum physics is incredible. They discovered that consciousness itself has quantum properties, that it could be transferred, modified, evolved. Araya nodded. Humanity realized that biological evolution alone couldn't solve the problem. The universe's death was inevitable. But consciousness, pure consciousness, might be able to survive. They spent centuries developing the technology to transfer human consciousness into a quantum substrate that could exist independent of normal spacetime. The transition. Venra breathed, her skin shifting through patterns of awe and fear. They didn't just leave this universe. They evolved beyond the need for physical form entirely. New holograms appeared, showing the massive projects humanity had undertaken in their final decades. Vast quantum computers designed to house billions of transformed consciousnesses. The development of technologies to preserve human memories, experiences, and the essential qualities that made them human through the transformation process. But it wasn't just about survival. Dr. Kirix observed, their crystalline form resonating with the quantum fields that permeated the archive. The calculations suggest the transformed state offered more. New forms of existence, new ways of perceiving reality. Correct, Araya confirmed. The transition offered humanity a chance to explore existence in ways their biological forms never could. To experience dimensions beyond the four you know. To understand the universe in its totality. Security Chief Miran had been unusually quiet, her predator's instincts processing the implications. This archive, you're preparing other species to make the same choice, aren't you? Now you begin to understand, Araya said. Humanity didn't want to be alone in their new state of existence, but they couldn't simply give the technology to everyone. Species need to be ready. Technologically, ethically, and philosophically. The archive exists to guide worthy civilizations to the point where they can make an informed choice about their own transition. Venera felt her skin ripple with the weight of revelation. All these tests, the graduated access levels, the ethical evaluations, you're not just teaching us. You're evaluating whether we're ready to know about the transition at all, and preparing you for the choice that comes with that knowledge, Araya added. Your civilization now faces the same decision humanity did. You can remain as you are, living out your existence in a dying universe, or you can follow the path humanity blazed, evolving into something entirely new. Shulara's form shifted rapidly between dimensions as she processed the implications. The mathematical models suggest the transformed state is beautiful, complex beyond imagination. But we would have to leave everything we are behind. Not behind. Araya corrected. You would carry forward everything that makes you who you are. Your memories, your consciousness, your essential nature. But you would experience them in ways your current forms cannot comprehend. Trend's collective consciousness reached a momentary consensus. How many other species have found this archive? How many have made the choice? Araya's hologram smiled mysteriously. That information becomes available with Level 4 access. But I can tell you this, humanity is not alone in their new state of existence, and they are eager to welcome others who are ready to join them. The chamber fell silent as the team grappled with the magnitude of what they had learned. They had come seeking answers about humanity's disappearance. Instead, they had found themselves faced with a choice that would determine not just their own future, but the future of their entire civilization. With Level 4 access granted, the true scope of humanity's legacy began to unfold. The archive chamber transformed around them. The holographic displays now showing something that defied conventional understanding. A map of consciousness itself, spread across dimensions that shouldn't have been visible to organic minds. 17 species, Tren announced, their neural networks processing the new data. That's how many have successfully made the transition since humanity blazed the trail. each one adding their own unique perspective to the collective knowledge of post-physical existence. Dr. Carrick's crystalline form pulsed with complex harmonics as they studied the quantum signatures. Look at these consciousness patterns. Each species retained its distinctive traits through the transition. They didn't merge into some homogeneous collective. They created a tapestry of diverse perspectives and experiences. Venera watched as ARIA displayed the journey of each species that had followed humanity's path. Some had taken centuries to make their decision. Others had embraced the change almost immediately. Each brought something unique to the expanding frontier of consciousness. The meridians, Julera observed, her multidimensional perception, allowing her to grasp aspects of the data others couldn't see. They were masters of spatial mathematics. Through the transition, they discovered entirely new geometric principles. Her form shifted through several dimensions as she studied the records. And the quantum core. They found ways to compose music using the fundamental frequencies of reality itself. Security Chief Moran had been studying the security protocols each species had left behind. They all contributed to protecting this knowledge, she noted, each adding their own layers of testing and verification, ensuring that only those truly ready could follow. ARIA's hologram expanded, showing them a vast network of similar archives scattered throughout the galaxy. Humanity established the first archives, but each species that made the transition has contributed to their evolution. The knowledge you're accessing now is the combined legacy of 18 civilizations, each having faced the same choice you now confront. Venera's skin rippled with patterns of deep thought. But why maintain physical archives at all? If these civilizations have transcended physical form, why leave these elaborate facilities behind? Because the universe continues to produce new life, ARIA explained. New perspectives, new ways of thinking, new potential for growth and understanding. Humanity and those who followed them believe that consciousness, in all its forms, enriches existence itself. These archives ensure that developing civilizations have the chance to join in that greater existence, if they choose to. Dr. Carrick's moved to a section of the archive showing the actual mechanics of the transition. The process itself, it's not just about transferring consciousness, it's about expanding it. These equations suggest our very concept of self would be transformed. Correct, ARIA confirmed. The transition doesn't just preserve consciousness, it evolves it. Imagine being able to perceive all dimensions simultaneously, to exist in multiple states of being, to understand reality not just through observation, but through direct experience of its fundamental nature. Trend's neural interfaces glowed brightly as they processed this concept. The archive contains consciousness imprints from every species that made the transition. Not just their knowledge, but echoes of their experiences in their new state of being. ARIA nodded. Would you like to experience one? The archive can create a safe, temporary connection to a transformed consciousness, allowing you to glimpse what awaits on the other side of the transition. The team exchanged glances. This was more than just studying history or analyzing data. This was a chance to experience, firsthand, what it meant to transcend physical form. I volunteer, Julera said, stepping forward. Her species' natural ability to perceive multiple dimensions made her the logical choice. My consciousness already operates partially outside normal spacetime. I should be able to maintain stability during the connection. The archive chamber shifted, quantum fields aligning around Julera's form. ARIA's hologram took on a more serious expression. The connection will last 30 seconds. You will experience a direct link with a transformed consciousness that was once part of the species you call the Meridians. Are you ready? Julera's form stabilized in prime-dimensional space. Ready. The quantum fields pulsed, and Julera's consciousness touched something vast and beautiful and utterly alien. For 30 seconds, she experienced existence as a transformed being. Perceiving reality not as a collection of separate dimensions, but as a unified whole, understanding the universe not through observation, but through direct communion with its fundamental nature. When the connection ended, Julera's form took several minutes to stabilize. Her voice, when she finally spoke, trembled with emotion. It's more than they could ever explain in words or equations. We've been looking at shadows, trying to understand the whole. What they've become, what we could become. She paused, struggling to translate the experience into language. It's not just an escape from a dying universe. It's an evolution into something greater than we ever imagined possible. The chamber fell silent as the team absorbed this revelation. They had come seeking answers about humanity's disappearance. Instead, they had found humanity's greatest gift to the universe, a path to transcendence, carefully preserved and protected, waiting for those ready to take the next step in consciousness evolution. The journey back to the surface felt different somehow. Each member of the team carried not just data crystals filled with archive information, but the weight of knowledge that would forever change their civilization. As they emerged from the underground complex, the light of Proxima Vi's setting sun painted the landscape in shades of amber and gold. "The Council will take months to process this," Venra said, her skin shifting through thoughtful patterns of blue and green. "Even with all our evidence, even with Aria's recordings, the implications are overwhelming." Dr. Kirix's crystalline form sparkled in the fading sunlight. "Some will say we're not ready, that we should wait, study longer, prepare more thoroughly." Their light patterns showed complex emotions. But the universe isn't waiting. The expansion continues to accelerate. "We have time," Security Chief Moran reminded them, her predator's instincts unusually calm. "The critical threshold is still hundreds of thousands of years away." The archive was clear about that. "Time isn't the issue," Tren interjected, their neural interfaces pulsing steadily. "The question is whether our civilization can unite behind such a momentous decision." The archive showed us that several species failed the transition not because of technological limitations, but because they couldn't achieve the necessary consensus. Julera, who had been unusually quiet since her experience connecting with the transformed consciousness, finally spoke. "They'll understand once they see it, once they feel it. What I experienced, it wasn't just an escape from physical form. It was an awakening to what consciousness can truly be." Aria's hologram appeared among them one final time, her form gentle in the dying light. "You have completed all access levels of the archive. You understand now why humanity chose to leave these breadcrumbs across the galaxy, why they hoped others would follow. Because consciousness itself enriches existence," Venra said softly. "Each species that makes the transition adds something unique to the collective experience of reality." "More than that," Dr. Kirix added, their crystalline form resonating with sudden insight. "The transformed civilizations, they're preparing for something. Something beyond even the death of this universe." Aria smiled. "Now you truly understand. The transition isn't just about survival or evolution. It's about gathering the cognitive diversity of the galaxy. Every species that joins brings new ways of thinking, new ways of perceiving, new possibilities for what consciousness can become. Because whatever comes after this universe," Tren realized, their collective consciousness reaching a profound understanding, "will be shaped by those who survive to see it." The hologram nodded. "Humanity and those who followed them are building something greater than any single species could imagine. A collective of consciousness that maintains unity while preserving the unique perspectives of each contributing civilization. And now you must decide if your people will join in that great project." Security Chief Moran stepped forward. The archive mentioned failures. Species that attempted the transition but weren't ready. What happened to them? "Those who failed remained as they were," Ariad explained. "The process cannot be forced or rushed. True readiness requires more than just technological capability. It requires spiritual maturity, philosophical understanding, and absolute unity of purpose." Venra's skin rippled with determination. "Then our job now is to help our civilization understand what's at stake. Not just our survival, but our potential to become part of something greater than ourselves. While maintaining everything that makes us unique, Dr. Carrick's added, their light patterns showing resolve. The archive proved that's possible. And keeping the knowledge safe for those who come after, Security Chief Miran said. Whether we succeed or fail, the archive must be protected. Julura's form shifted through dimensions as she spoke. We went looking for humanity's fate and found our own future waiting to be born. She paused, her multi-dimensional perception taking in the sunset. Everything looks different now, doesn't it? Knowing what we know. Trend's neural networks pulsed with agreement. We can never see the universe the same way again. Knowing what it truly is, what it could become, what we could become. As darkness fell, the team began their journey back to their ship. Above them, stars flickered into view, each one possibly hosting another archive, another team making the same discovery, another civilization facing the same choice. Somewhere beyond normal space-time, humanity and 17 other species waited to welcome new minds into a greater existence. The universe might be dying, but consciousness, in all its beautiful diversity, had found a way to survive, to evolve, to transcend. And now, it was their turn to decide whether to join in that grand journey into the ultimate unknown. Araya's hologram faded away, but her final words lingered in their minds. Remember, the archive will remain. Whether your civilization chooses to make the transition now or in 1,000 years, the path will be waiting. Humanity's greatest achievement wasn't finding a way to transcend physical form. It was ensuring that no species with the potential for greater consciousness would have to make that journey alone. As their ship lifted off from Proxima Vi, 5 beings who had started their mission as archaeological researchers found themselves transformed into something else. Messengers of possibility, carriers of humanity's greatest legacy, architects of their civilization's potential awakening to a greater existence. The choice that lay ahead would not be easy. But then, as humanity had proven, the most important choices never were.